My opus of work is actually the chatter of birds. It's all improvisational, instantaneous to the moment, and theoretically is gone as soon as it's created, performed, actualized. It's gone to the next moment. Just like the chatter of birds or the noise in the street. And when it's in these other aspects, people don't make a big deal about it. I mean, you don't record the horns that are outside now. And it just becomes a personal thing to record them. You know, I've been playing music since I'm 15 years old on the piano. I record it. I used to record it on a little tape recorder. Now I put it on the phone. I never even go back over it. I've written thousands of songs. I never did anything with them because they're spontaneous. The spontaneous chatter of birds. I have a unique ability that I'm able to create music, create words and play and do it all simultaneously. But I've never gone back over it. I've never tried to publish anything. This comes from tennis. Because when you play tennis points, you play the point and it's gone. You can't even figure out intellectually, and I still try to figure out intellectually what I'm doing during the tennis point. But if you start thinking of techniques, the ball's going to be by you. So there's an instantaneous action. The ball comes, and then there's a body reaction from a gut brain that hits it. You can't even let the ball go by you. If you let the ball go by you, the gut brain makes a movement. Muhammad Ali used to say that about a punch. He said, you never really get hit square because as it's coming, the head moves. That movement, that instantaneous kind of like performance art, so to speak, in the moment, improvisational, so you could call it. I'm lacking the perfect word here, but to be in the moment and not record the moment, even like I'm doing this. This is interesting because it's a recording of that you shouldn't record. Because the moment is its thing and then it's gone, you see. And there's no authority in this moment. Authority comes from external clothes, so to speak. Yesterday, in fact, I had to deliver something to the hospital. I go in there and it's an institution. Curing, medicine is an institution. It's predicated on some sort of concepts. Did you notice that the doctors wear a certain type of clothes? The nurses wear a certain type of clothes. The structure of the hospital is a certain way. They come into your room as a team now because people only trust a team of doctors. What you get charged for there, you should have a team. Should have the New England Patriots come in. And so the team of doctors comes in all dressed in white, with stethoscopes around their neck, because otherwise how could you recognize a doctor? In a certain sense, and that's, how do you recognize a priest? How do you recognize a policeman if he was on the corner without any clothes? You mean a plainclothes policeman? So authority, it's the same thing with a lawyer. Or not a lawyer, a judge. They wear a robe. Or that you have to call the doctor, doctor. What do you do to be called the doctor? Why is he called the doctor? And then the dentist is called the doctor. That fraud. Doctor. Drilling when there's no cavity. Make sure the kid, don't go there too close to like summer camp, because the doctor's bill will pay for the dentist's bill will pay for his summer camp. All unnecessary work. A deep cleaning. All these things are frauds. They're to perpetuate mediocrity. See? In the clothing environment, it's the fourth level. It's the fourth level of the soul. There's 3 levels of the soul inside. And then the garments. And that's what gives the social fraud, the garments. And that's why when you go to the stores, if you see women dress in garments. Otherwise, they'd just be women. I don't like to make people special in garments, including Jews with yarmulkes. I don't like the idea to single out people. If you're different, fine. Be different. But I don't like the clothing to single out people and make them feel special because of the clothing. Doctor. That's to me with that stethoscope. And on television. So watch how you look at people with clothes, uniforms, military uniforms. In fact, the word uniform is just that. It's a uniform. It's to make a generality. It's nice to be in the generality, comforting, to be in a community, be in a team. But it doesn't get you to a certain level that we're going to call the Maslow level. This Maslow level is the place we're all looking to get to. The Maslow level is where you can change your reality. Change your reality because it's the Maslow level. In a certain sense, today is Tu B'Shvat, and there was a lunar eclipse. In a certain sense, that eclipse, those couple of hours of difference, opens up an area that's not perceptible under normative conditions. It's 5 degrees out here today, and the wind chill, or whatever they call it, the real feel, is -20. And that gives you an opportunity to find a spot that's not an habitual. That's the whole secret, to find the spot that's not in the habitual. That's the secret spot. You know, that sexual thing, I forget because I'm not supposed to say it. That, what I call the botzina de kartanuta, the hard candle, the hard spark, the spot of din, the fetish item. That's the mazla. When you enter into that fetish item, that mazla area, and how to enter into that mazla area, and that's what I'm going to show you. How to enter into the mazla. Mazla has the greatest gematria, 78. The number 78 has two numbers in it, which actually would correspond to that, 7 and 8. 7 and 8, by the way, would be 7 for spiritual and 8 for infinite. That's what happens when a bris occurs on the 7th day, on Shabbos. Usually you don't do things on Shabbos, but even a bris overrides Shabbos. So if it's the 8th day, you have the bris on the Shabbos. 7 and 8. 6 is physical, 7 spiritual, 8 is infinite. As you see by the number 8 on its side is a infinity sign. The number 78 is the gematria of Mazla with an aleph at the end. Mem, Zayin, Lamed, Aleph. This 78 is brought down to us as the word lachem, bread. The fundamental thing in your life, in your diet, lachem, bread, gets you into the mazla area. And it does, because you're eating food. Life isn't bread alone, but every word that comes out. It's what's in the bread, and that bread is wheat. And that's the whole secret of Dekartanuta. Dekartanuta, botzina is something else. Dekartanuta means hard wheat, like a place of hard wheat. And that's the bread. And the miracle thing, if you take any prayer book and you look at it, very close to the beginning, there's Birchat Hamazon. You know, blessing on bread. You blessing of the meal. You have to say it even if you have a bite of bread. A bite of bread makes the meal. Why? Because lachem enters into the mazla area. So the most important part of Judaism is saying Birchat Hamazon. It takes a long time, but you say it every day, a couple of times a day. Lachem, 78. Now on Shabbos, you're supposed to take lahem, the bread, and dip it in salt. And then eat it. Oh, they say, it's like bitter. I mean, it makes the salt, it's like salt to the wound. It makes it even worse. It shows you that, One of the reasons you do that is salt is melach. So you take the lahem and you put in the melach. Melach is also gematria 78. It's the same letters rearranged. So you're doubly entering into the mazla area. You're in the mazla area, and you don't know it. And in that mazla area, and they do that on Shabbos, especially with the salt, because Shabbos you're entering into a different area. You enter into Yetzirah, and remember today, as is 3:15. Is Shevet plus 3 letters plus it's 3 letters plus 1 is 315. And that's the Yetzirah world. So in today, and you saw there was a lunar eclipse, and it's the 15th of the month, and 15 is Yud Hey, and you're entering into all this. You see, because today is a day you can make changes. And that's the whole idea of also a lunar eclipse. You can make changes today. You can make changes any day. But it's easier to make changes when the physicality is around you to make changes, when the planets are helping you. So this Lachem and Melach, that's 78. That's Mazla. Now, a very beautiful thing about the word Mazla, because that's the area. That's above everything. See? When you spin the dreidel, you get into the Mazla area. That's like the luck area. You know? What appears to be luck, really fate. Get into that area. That's the area that's blocked with our intellect, and blocked with our consciousness, and blocked with our conformity, and blocked with the generality, waiting for us to make changes in the botzina de kartanuta of the tofu of the tohu world, waiting for us, and Hashem is waiting for us to get there. That's Hashem's desire. Is it possible? Yes. We'll talk about that. In the Botzina de Kartanuta, in the din, needs somebody to get through the positive thinking into the negative thinking world. Every language has a negation. Yet down here, we're supposed to have positive thoughts all the time. No, block out the negative. Until you can incorporate the negation into your life. And what are you supposed to negate? Everything positive, everything structural. Get to the ayin. Get to the nothingness. And after you get into the nothingness, that's when you will find the everything. Nothing is everything. When you are bittul, when you are nothing, when you're eclipsed, a lunar eclipse, in that moment, in that area, then you can make changes. Then you've hit the real. Do you want to hit the real? Then you can at any time. And don't tell me about the past, because that's what pictures are. That's what recordings are. That's what this is when you see it. That's why the only thing real is live real. While it's being done, playing the tennis, while you're playing the game. But don't show me yesterday's films. So we're in the Mazla. And what are we going to do? Mazla, fully spelt out, Mem Zayin Lamed Aleph, is 332. Now, you know from my other videos, you don't. 332 is the gematria of the first letters of the Shema. Let me repeat, the gematria of the first letters of the Shema, of the 6 words of the Shema: Shin, Yud, Yud, Aleph, Yud, Aleph, is 332. 332, when you say the Shema, the Kedusha letters of the Shema, the first letters of those 6, get you into the Masla area. That's why the Shema is the entire key of Judaism. Simple, not complicated, and it gets you into the Masla area where you can make changes. And my further development in Jewish studies and everything and explication will be predicated on the Shema. 6 words, and maybe say the second 6 words. But if you say the 6 words, you've done it. I don't want to know the entire complications. Yes, of course there's kasherut, and of course there's prayer. I want you to recognize the essence, the mamish, the botzina de katanuta, the Masla world, the tohu world. Tohu. I had a bad toe for a while. Tohu world. The din of the tohu world. The tohu world was so great it couldn't be contained. Don't you want to be in there? Don't you want to be in the energy in your lifetime? Or you want to be a good boy and girl? Don't you want the real? Maybe enough, huh? That to me was an improvisation like a song.